Bachelors that made it onto this last season 11 of The Bachelorette.
11 of The Bachelorette. Does that mean you were the 11th?
It was 11
Season.
of The Bachelorette, and I was in the one of the 25 guys that went on to do the show.
Where are you from?
I'm from Cuna, just 3.5 hours away.
Grew up in Cuna, so were you like a farm boy? Can I ask that?
I mean, in a sense, I was a bit of a farm boy. I mean, my family had acreage, and we had animals all over the place. And my dad had his own welding and fabrication business, so we didn't farm for a living. But I mean, we had plenty of acreage for me to grow up on and run around at. And
So what do you do now, or what did you do before the show? What was your job?
I was and still am a welder. I was traveling around the country welding at power plants and mines, and then I just recently gave up the traveling, and now I work at a permanent fabrication company back home. So that's, I wouldn't have been able to do the show had I still currently been traveling at the time, so it worked out just fine.
Yeah, that was my next question is how did you get hooked up with the show?
I actually got on the show.
Can you hold on?
Boredom.
Well, we'll get it in a second.
Traveling, and I applied for the show, and then 8 months later, they randomly called me back. I'd completely forgot I had applied, and asked if I was still single and interested, and then put me through just a gauntlet of interviews. And a few months after that, I was on the show. It was about a year in total from the time I applied to where filming started.
What was the process like through that whole thing?
Process was crazy. I mean, drug tests, blood tests, psych evaluations, just to make sure we're not, they're not putting some crazy on the show. And I mean, it was surreal. It was a lot of fun. They flew me to LA and they interviewed me with this room full of the producers and drilled me with questions and stories, and it was a lot of fun. It was a good time.
And I gotta ask you about the Bachelorette. Did you really fall for her?
I didn't fall head over heels for her like some of the other guys did. I liked her, absolutely. There's no denying that, but not nearly to the level that some of the other guys did that were there longer than I was.
So what's it like competing against, I don't know, how many other men were there?
24 other guys.
So what's it like competing with 24 other guys for this woman's attention or, whatever you guys do on the show? What's that like?
Well, when we're on the show, we try not to say compete because it's not really a competition. All you can do is go on there and be yourself, which is what I tried to do the best that I was able to. And if she likes me for me, then great, by all means. But it's to go on to a show like that and try to be somebody that you're not, to try to progress further into the show. You're lying to not only yourself, but to her eventually. Because if she chooses you, then the real you is going to eventually come out. So we didn't really compete, I guess, but you go into the show, there's going to be other guys there, vying for her and trying to keep her attention. So it's just a matter of, being you and knowing that she's going to kiss other guys, and so it was difficult. The further on I went, it got harder and harder to see other guys go on dates with her, but it's part of the show, so you try to just handle it the best you can.
Yeah, that would be difficult. So, do you become good friends with the other guys on the show?
Yeah, I still talk with a majority of them. I still talk to the guys, and we have our own little tiny chat room where we talk about how things are going back home and how life has changed and how we're adjusting and adapting to it, and who we think is going to end up winning Caitlin's heart here in the end in 2 weeks when she announces it. And
how has it changed your life since you've been on the show?
Well, my life is still pretty much the same. I wake up every morning, I go to work, I come home, but it's going out in public that's changed. I can't just walk down the sidewalks, say in Boise or Nampa Meridian, even here already in Pokey. I've been stopped a couple times. And so that part's different. It's flattering, it's humbling. Everybody says a lot of nice things, and they tell me I represented Idaho well. So that's good, because that's kind of what I was wanting to do. I didn't want to be kind of an embarrassment to our state. So it's been fun. Just everybody wants selfies and pictures, which I'm happy to oblige them with. Just if they want to support me, the least I can do is take a picture with him.
Which I'm going to get an updated one today because last night's was dark when we got one. What was your intent when you went on the show? Was you really looking for love, or did you just want to go on and say, hey, I get to go party for a few months or whatever with a bunch of people and have fun with a gorgeous gal? What was your real intent to go on the show?
I told Caitlin right off the bat that I didn't expect to fall in love, but, crazy things do happen. I told her that I went on for the experience, for stories. I ended up making, a bunch of new friends. But I did end up starting to like the girl, which, wasn't really what I expected. I was hoping, but I didn't expect it. But, yeah, I was straightforward with her right away and said, I don't expect to fall in love, but if we do, terrific. You go on for the experience with the hope of more.
And last but not least question before I let you conclude the interview. Why do you feel it's important to support this fundraising event?
I mean, I'm just a normal guy that was put on a TV show. If something that simple is able to allow me to come back to where I went to college and help raise money for this, the young man that got hurt, I mean, that's the absolute least I can do. Camille called me up and asked if it'd be something I'd be interested in, and I said, absolutely. It's not, I didn't really do anything special or deserve to be on that show, and if I can use that to my advantage and to his advantage, and hopefully raising some extra money for him and his family and the surgeries that he's had and may still have to have, then, that's huge. That's, I'm honored I'm able to help in that way.
Beautiful. Anything you want to add?
I guess watch Bachelors in Paradise. That's coming up next.
So are you going to be on that one too?
Yeah, I'm on that.
Are you the Bachelor, the next Bachelor?
No, Bachelor in Paradise is just as many guys as there is girls, and they focus more on coupling people up as opposed to fighting for one person. So
When do you start filming on that, or have you already?
filming has started and been completed, and it airs August 2nd and 3rd.
So you've been busy. You've been a busy guy doing all this stuff, right?
Yeah, it's been a very it's been an exciting start to the summer.
Do you want to be the next Bachelor?
I don't think I could handle being the Bachelor. That's a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. They hardly get any sleep, and I don't do well with less than 6 hours of sleep.